Great morning, great afternoon, great evening. This is your friendly real estate guy, Michael Seville. How about neighborly? Your neighborly real estate guy, Michael Seville, here in northern Palm Beach County. I appreciate each and every one of you that are checking in with me. It's been a while. Took some time. I'm back. Being a super single father. Got my head together as school started. Lots of changes. And if you all are able to hear me, please give me a 1 in the chat when this does go out. When it does go out. A lot of changes. I'm going to outline some of these different changes that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to even give you a mission statement. But first, let's get into some housekeeping. Please remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button. I really, really do appreciate all the engagement. I appreciate every time someone comes and talks to me in public. All my gym fanatics meeting me there, asking me questions, giving me positive feedback. I appreciate it. Honestly, I do, because you don't have to do it. So everyone that likes, share, comments, and subscribes, I want to thank you. I definitely personally want to thank you. Guys, remember, I'm dropping this normally every Monday at around 4:30. You're definitely going to hear something from me. And with the new format of what I plan on doing, you're going to be getting drops from me throughout the week. Multiple times. It was interesting this morning that I was on a mastermind call, today being Monday, October 9th, 2023, fourth quarter. And one of the guys on the mastermind call, shout out to George in Orlando, awesome real estate agent, George Martinez. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate in Orlando, he's an awesome real estate agent. So George asked me, he asked me what was exciting about my weekend, any wins or any successes. And I'm going to be honest, I couldn't think of one when he first asked me. And so being the person that I am, I kind of switched it back and I turned it on him, and he gave me some successes. He just listed I believe it was a $2.1 million property in Orlando. In Orlando, that's a lot of property, 10 acres, luxury property. And he went through exactly what, he did to get the listing, how he was doing a lot of follow-up with his, with his new client. And then it just dawned on me about what my weekend actually was like, being that super single father. Single fatherhood. Shouts out to all the fathers out there. Shouts out to all the single parents out there. I love it. But we're not going to stop there. We're going to continue. So on Friday, I happened to, thank God, was invited by my mentor, who threw what they call a marketing session in Broward. I was in Fort Lauderdale, actually, right off of Sunrise, at the Marriott, the new Marriott. And I mean, I hadn't been to a marketing session in a while. I hadn't been to Broward in a while. And I mean, it was awesome. It was good to get back with those people. And it was it's so different. We used to hold them at Denny's. Now he held it at the Marriott. Awesome marketing session. It was moderated by Pete West out in St. Pete. Pete from St. Pete. His son was there, which was awesome. His son's like 20 years old and has an IRA, buying and putting things in his IRA. Lots of off market properties, hotels. The young lady who was there has a 3-year-old. They're actually building out a Marriott here I think it's in Palm Beach County. And she was also out there raising money for another hotel that was in Indiana. There was some 20 unit properties that's currently going through probate. That was interesting, but it was just great to be around that crowd and those people, movers and shakers of real estate. I used to call it real live Monopoly. That's the exchangers meeting. Shouts out to my mentor, Jim Wolf, for the invite and actually him putting it together. New technology, guys. We'll get more into Jim. This is an 85-plus-year-old man that's busier than anything that you've ever seen. But let's get back to how we're doing this. So Mondays, guys, remember I'm dropping this Mondays. At the very least, you're gonna get a what it takes / foundational living. That's what I'm gonna get into. Remember, on Wednesdays, my brother Joel Simmons has It Starts With Me each and every Wednesday, 12:30 p.m. Don't forget to check out him and his conversations with, this guy he interviews everybody. So check him out. And of course, on Fridays, we culminate the week with Community Beacon, which I think it's an awesome show for us to get together and kind of do some high level conversations. Last week, we spoke about work-life balance. Joel was really the one who was dropping a lot of gems on it. Man, one of the gems he dropped, I need to drop a bomb on this. He says, inconsistencies, so not being consistent, comes from lack of, it wasn't competence. Joel, I'm tearing up what you're saying. But it was awesome. So check us out, Community Beacon. Gems are always dropped. And then, of course, here we are today. So let's get first into the mission statement as I'm moving along. I took some time, me and ChatGPT. I think I'm actually probably in a relationship with ChatGPT. It's insane. But me and ChatGPT came up with this mission statement for this new what it takes / foundational living in Palm Beach County. It says our mission is to empower and inform our viewers on the journey of foundational living within the vibrant communities of Palm Beach County. We believe that understanding of the needs and the intersection with real estate is key to creating fulfilling and securing lives. Through in-depth discussions, expert insights, and community engagement, we strive to be a trusted resource for residents and prospective residents alike. Our goal is to inspire thoughtful decisions when it comes to housing, community, and overall well-being. We're committed to fostering a sense of belonging, safety, prosperity in Palm Beach County by exploring the fundamental elements of life and real estate that make this region so unique. I love Palm Beach County. So join us on this journey to unlock the potential of foundational living and discover how it can enhance your life in Palm Beach. I love Palm Beach County. I came here when I was about 5 or 6. And it's been up ever since. So I appreciate those who allowed me to work with them, as you know, and we'll get into that. So now, what made me say, well, you know what? Let's talk about foundational living. What does that mean? Outside of the mission statement. Shouts out to ChatGPT. what's foundational living, like exactly what's it's about. And so a lot of this came out of just wanting and needing, this is the compassionate part of me, is to provide value for people. First time home buyers, moving up home buyers, step up home buyers, which I've been working with a lot lately, as well as the retired homeowners that no longer need a huge pieces of, whatever property they have, or are going to possibly assisted living facilities. We got a lot going on, and it's all happening now while these prices are rising. So now is almost like the best time to sell real estate if you plan on downsizing. Who cares about the interest rate if you're going to buy it cash, right? And have a hefty sum of money left over. So we'll get into, for me, I'm doing a couple things at the same time. We'll get into something I was looking at today. And this is like the bane of a lot of existence and a lot of, real estate headlines. So I'm going to share my screen as I was going over these stats. And this is specifically for northern Palm Beach County. That's where I'm here. Took a long walk down North Lake. Long walk down North Lake. On Saturday morning. I think I walked from A1A, past A1A. I was gone. I was way past A1A as far as east is concerned, and I walked to 95. These are the things that I'm doing when I'm fasting. So let's look at this. Let's look at exactly what does this look like in regards to our, and this is the wrong slide. I'm going to give you the right one. Here we go. Let me make sure it's up. I take my time here, guys. I appreciate the patience. Let's look. This is what happened. This is the last stats that we got. This is as of August. I don't think they've finished September. September should be coming out anytime now. It's October 9th, so we'll probably be getting it in the next couple of days. But as of August, let's take a look at this. August is normally, it starts to slow down. Summer starts to slow down, but this is what was going on. This is northern Palm Beach County. This is for single family homes. The median sale, which is what we're going to go off of, right? That means when we're talking about median sales, that means that there was equal amount of homes on both sides of it, as opposed to the average, which can be really skewed data. It says the median sale was $660,000. $660,000 for a single family home. Let's see what townhomes and townhouses look like. The median sale for a townhouse / condo was $332,000, up from $299,000 just last year. Same with condos and condos, which makes sense, right about, because that's what most people can afford. Right around 479 sales this year versus 489 sales last year. So not too much of a change. Not too much of a change. This is in northern Palm Beach County. Right? So what we're speaking to in northern Palm Beach County, let me pop back out, and I'll keep that up there since my pretty face is not on the screen. I'll keep the stats up there. It's an affordability issue. This is up from 2017-18 when I first got into real estate sales, where the average home price in northern Palm Beach County was right around $300,000. We've doubled that. Townhomes, when you put them all together, I think it was right around nationally was $270,000 for single family homes. We're nowhere near that. And I don't know about you, but if you're in a regular 9 to 5, I would make the assumption that more than likely your pay didn't go up double. But Michael, isn't there a bubble? This is what happened in 2004, 2005. 2008, excuse me. We saw the home prices go up in 2004, 2005, 2006. They were selling for record prices. Then we had a bubble. Lots of foreclosures. Lots of people walking away from homes. People, if you had the cash, you were scooping it up. That's what I'm going to wait for. I'm going to wait on that bubble. It's secular, right? We're not in that kind of cycle. We're not in that kind of cycle. Back in 2000, I don't know, what was it, 2003 to about 2006, 7, we had those subprime mortgages. So you and I know, if you were back then, I was a little bit younger. I still owned a home though. However, what was going on was if you had a pulse, they were giving you a mortgage. Are you breathing? Take 4 houses. Right? Like there was a lot of that going on, because what happened was you were getting mortgages where your payment was $1,000. And at the time you were being told, hey, you know, you in 3 years, it's an adjustable rate mortgage. And in a year, 2-3 years, when the interest rate goes up to, you know, whatever the interest rate is at the time, then you can just refinance it. That's what's going on. I guess it was, looking back on it, very irresponsible, very crazy, but it's just the way of the world. That is not what is going on now. Over 50% of the homes in Palm Beach County are being bought cash. Right? So the only bubble we may possibly see maybe come from the tax side. So if you're in the tax liens and tax certificates, that might be interesting to take a look at. But there's sharks in that water. We kind of discussed that on Friday at the marketing event with the exchange, at the exchanger meeting. So this bubble that was already predicted by most of national news and all these huge organizations back in January, saying that this was the year that it was going to happen, has not happened, even with inflation, even with the feds attempting to kill the housing market. And let's be quite honest. We have so much buyers in demand right now that are RWA, ready, willing, and able buyers, that if the interest rates did go down, I mean, 6%, if interest rates went down to 6%, anywhere between 5 and 6, housing prices are going to go up, because there's so much pent up demand. I mean, even now, homes aren't really. I took a listing last month, a day. I got a phone call, sight unseen, cash for the seller. That's how fast you don't have time to do anything. Didn't even really. It was on the MLS for less than a day. Cash offer. No contingencies. We're going to check. We're going to have an inspection just because we want to see what we're going to need to do. There was no seller meeting me halfway. Priced right, it's gone. Even priced a little bit above, it's gone. This is is interesting is that I had this listing last year, and it was somewhat of a demand for it, but it was a listing in the same area. I had a listing last year. Last year there wasn't that much demand for it. Today it's like we're not questioning it. We have the money in our accounts, IRAs, wherever this money's coming from. We want to sell. Affordability is an issue. Now, for some people, and that's kind of what this foundational living, along with other things, is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about positioning ourselves so that we're in position. We're going to talk about some of the sacrifices that we need to make. That's why I almost don't want to change the name from What It Takes, but foundational living definitely sounds better. We're going to create a solid foundation that if you want to stay in Palm Beach County, and really these principles you can take anywhere, you will be successful. I'm going to take the guessing out of it. I'm going to break this down in the simplest terms. And if I'm not breaking it down for as simple and basic and just foundational rules, principles, no tactics, no strategies, just principles. The world is filled with strategies and tactics, and those are good, and there's a place for them, but more so when it's customized for you. A strategy or a tactic has to be customized for the person. This is when you start having to pay for this information. But as far as principles are concerned, they're generalized. They're generalized. So that we're going to get into that a little bit. Now here, it's the question we ask. Why me, Mike? Why me? Why Mike? I love you guys. One of the values that I was working on recently was compassion, or two of them. Let's talk about empathy and compassion. Because a long time I was dealing with a lot of empathy for people, but I wouldn't necessarily say I would have compassion for them, because a lot of these things were just kind of already taught to me. I experienced them. Guys, remember, I bought my first house at, I think I was 19 or 20 years old, or not remember. I'm letting you know. I bought my first house at 19 or 20 years old, full support of my parents, my mother, partners involved. This is while I was in college. So I took a lot of the hits. I took a lot of hits early on. And then I took some time off, etc. But I still had empathy for people, but I was, I guess in my mind, everybody was similar to me. But working with more and more people who are in different places and different seasons and matured a little bit later than I did, I had to show some compassion. This is the compassion for me. Why else, Mike? Well, why Palm Beach County? I grew up in Palm Beach County. St. Francis of the Assisi in Riviera Beach was my first school after moving from Jersey. I then went on. You really gotta pay attention to this. It's interesting. So I went to St. Francis of the Assisi in Riviera Beach. It's no longer there. I think I went there until I was in the 4th grade. And 5th grade, my parents no longer could afford me going. So we went to a public school. My mother fought, and I ended up going to Palm Beach Public. I was a comet. Shouts out to Miss Middleton, the 5th grade teacher. Put me in my first play, the star of the play. I was Igor. We did a play in regards to the Cold War. And then I went to middle school, same place, Palm Beach Public. And it's no longer there as a middle school. It is only an elementary school. I was the last graduating class of Palm Beach Public. I can't describe what kind of exposure I got going to middle school at Palm Beach Public on the island, Palm Beach proper. We crossed the bridge, and instead of saying, the game we played back in the day, that's my car, that's my car, the game we played actually was, that's my yacht. It was oh my gosh, this yacht was so nice. That was my yacht. That was the game we played as we crossed the bridge to go, as we were busting to Palm Beach on the island. I went to school with a very diverse group. If you know anything about northern Palm Beach County, I lived off of 45th Street, North Shore, to be specific, close to where the Middle School of the Arts, Bach Middle, is currently. Single family homes, really nice property. Parents bought it, 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom. Bought it for $120,000. They also bought some other properties throughout northern Palm Beach County, Chillingsworth area, Cherry Road. Michigan Place was in Chillingsworth, Cherry Road, which is off of Military Trail. They bought several townhouses there. Those were the 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom townhomes. Then, so that I was coming from 45th Street, North Shore, right across the street from the High Line, which is now defunct, still owned by Don King and his group, close to Mangonia Park. I didn't know. Sometimes I didn't know if I was from Mangonia Park or if I was from West Palm. The address said West Palm. I actually now own a rental property in Mangonia. Well, I manage a property in Mangonia Park. Let's say that. Then we went bust in. When we were bust in, we had to pick up. Our pickups was along Sappadilla. My brother actually went to the YWCA that's on Sappadilla, close to Henrietta. One of the biggest, one of the apartment complexes that I first came in to manage. Shouts out to Mike Mundelli that put me on his team back then when I was doing a lot of property management. I think I had 50 units at one time. That's when I learned to turn my phone off at 8 o'clock. There's no emergencies in real estate. You'll never want me and never need me, but you'll probably never need me after 8 o'clock. If it's an emergency like that, more than likely, we need to be calling the police. Long story short, went to Palm Beach Public. We had a very, very diverse group. Kids who lived on the island, kids that came from downtown, what we call downtown, which is Sappadilla, Tamron. Kids that came from the other side of Okeechobee that a lot of people don't venture over to, which I was at on Saturday, looking at the La Clara. So I'm talking about the south side of Okeechobee, which is Parker Avenue, Georgia, all those close to Coniston Middle School, Dixie Highway, both sides, which is now it's a totally different type of community. The old, that old historic homes there. So we had groups that were coming from everywhere that went to Palm Beach Public. So that was awesome. Was best friends with the Bjorlins. Shouts out to John Paul, his sister Bianca as well. Played in the band there. And then from there I went to, and I didn't want to go. Full disclosure, my mother actually put in the application because I didn't put it on my application at the time. Suncoast High School, but shouts out to Pauline Seville. I appreciate you because you allowed me to go to Suncoast High School. Anyone who knows Suncoast High School, we're probably the top high school if not in Florida, in the county, then in Florida as well. I know at the time I went, we were like 1 or 2. I think we were actually number 1. Then the High School of the Arts, Dreyfus, actually started kind of competing. But as far as public schools went, Suncoast was the place. So from after Suncoast High School, I mean, you all can look up Suncoast. I don't want to let this drag on, but it is important. I went off to school, went to the Florida A&M University, studied in psychology and secondary and teaching. Came back, worked with the Drug Abuse Foundation in Delray, then went to the city of West Palm Beach where I worked with youth. I told myself I'd give back. That was my compassion back in the day, to the place that made me. So shouts out to the Youth Empowerment Center, which is now located in Pleasant City, the city within the city. And then from there on, came out, started working property management with Mike Mandelli. Property management led into investments, and then investments eventually led into sales. And then, of course, sales kind of was investments and sales kind of went hand in hand with the exchangers, where I learned creative real estate. I am a transaction specialist, finding out the problems and the places. And like we spoke about, that's why affordability was the problem. Coached by several different people, a lot of Mike Ferry coach groups, a lot of NLP sales techniques, etc. I'm huge into negotiations. I love Chris Voss and his group, the Black Swan group. So did a lot of coaching and being mentored by them. Of course, my mentor is Jim Wolf, who's been in real estate. Oh man, my real estate number is like 2 million. His is like 7. Him and Jesus got their license at the same time. Matter of fact, I think he helped Jesus buy his first property or something. I don't know. But he's that old, but he's definitely a wealth of information. Been all over the United States in regards to marketing sessions. Have been mentored by some of the greatest real estate people out there, and coached by some of the greatest real estate coaches that are out there. And I'm very appreciative of this. First off, Toastmasters is going to kill me. I was also president of Toastmasters. You can't tell by all of the ums, right? My first real estate office was in Boca. My first client sale, was with a cash buyer out in Delray. Listed homes in Miami. Not a fan of Miami. I always tell people it's a different country. Boca's kind of a different country too, but it's my kind of country. There's another one place that I haven't really, we've driven by, and most people on the east side, and don't really go out to Western Palm Beach County. It's Belle Glade, Pahokee, etc. Outside of actually playing in a football game there or some sort of sports, that's a different place as well. However, there are opportunities in Belle Glade. I have a friend of mine who's building several houses out there, and it's definitely changed, and it will continue changing. They say progress moves north. And after you see what's going on in Miami and in Fort Lauderdale, you can tell why. You can tell where we're headed. This is where Palm Beach is. This is why homes will not, barring something crazy happen in the United States, war, acts of God, terrorism, cross my fingers, right? We do live in one of the greatest countries in the world. I love it here. South Florida is poised for growth. That's why you see a lot of the Northerners coming down here. No taxes, no state taxes, homesteads. Come on, man. It's an awesome place to be. If we can just, and if you were participating, like these guys on Friday were participating in real estate and going to La Clara, those people, you would understand how exciting this is. When I started real estate sales, I actually cut my teeth with for sale by owners. And, first year you work with a lot of buyers. So that had me up and down throughout the Tri-County area. I didn't go as far as Miami for a buyer, but definitely went to Fort Lauderdale a lot. And I was in, like I said, the office was in Boca, so that was fine. We still do have several offices in Palm Beach County now with the company I'm with, eXp Realty. But cut my teeth working with owners, with a lot of for sale by owners. That was fun. Worked on expires, do a lot of calling. If your home expired, you probably got a call from me if it expired in 2021 or 2022, which is crazy because homes should not have been expiring. But if you were just testing the market, it was a great time to test. Guys, listen, I'm excited about this foundational living. I'm going to be doing reviews. I'm going to be talking about cooking. I'm going to be talking about health. I'm talking about all of the context of life. It just hit me like a ton of bricks. It hit me like a ton of bricks. So we'll be talking about all kinds of context of life. I appreciate you all for being on the journey. I'm going to cut it short here, but before I do cut it short, I'm going to start with a question of the day. See if I can get it up here in time before we end. And I'll probably leave it here for a little bit as well. Let's see. Let's see what our question of the day will be. I like this question. Have you recently made a significant housing decision or move? And what factors influenced your choice? That's great. That's the question of the day. I can't even type it. I don't type that fast. I thought I had it typed out already. Question of the day. That's the question of the day. Let me put this back up. Question of the day is, have you recently made a significant housing decision or move? Meaning, have you recently decided to rent, or you decided to buy? Or what's your thought process? 90 days out, 6 months out, a year out, 2 years out? I'll still be in real estate. 5 years out? And what factors are currently influencing your choice? Guys, I appreciate you for checking in. This was one of my longer episodes. It's been a while since I've had an episode this long. I appreciate you for checking in. It's going to be an exciting ride. And and thank you. Thank you so much for participating in it. You all have a wonderful day.